Tuning in now or after live, please make sure to hit that like button so we can expand the reach of this live. It would greatly help so that our entire viewing audience will be able to see this, and it'll help push this through the analytics and help us in the algorithm as well. As most of crypto, all of crypto, has dumped, I showed everybody an option, an alternative for the last couple days, what I thought would go up while crypto was going down, and it was PAXG because it's tied to the troy ounce of gold. I did take a futures trade out at 1995. I sold it at 2028, and I'll show everybody why in just a second, where I'm trying to get it back to is a 10x move. So I tried to show everybody a safe move when we had the Bitcoin ETF approval. I was trying to show everybody an easy way to make a little bit of money. I made about $198, but again, it was on, I just told everybody it was over $500, so you can do the math. So I put a little bit of money into it, but it doesn't move like crypto. It's tied to the ounce of gold, and I have a very, very deep understanding of gold. So that's something I'm going to be doing very, very often. So, and I'm going to go into that and show exactly what I'm going to do next. But first, we've got Bitcoin down 3,900 points there, 8.42. Is anybody in here surprised? What did we talk about yesterday and the day before and the day before that with Bitcoin where we're at? We'll go into that very deeply. XRP Rippers, welcome in. Man, everything is right. Crypto Poppy, welcome. Matt Holden, good evening. CZAM, what's going on, my friend? JW, welcome in. William, are we embarking on alt season now? I mean, we needed to have this dump for it to have any kind of chance. We'll go into that. Exactly why this is not a bad thing. This is what we need. I actually said we needed it to go down to 534, so we'll see where we're at with the relative strength with XRP and all of crypto in a minute. Mark Caston, welcome in. JW, awesome to have you in here as always, my brother. William, welcome in. Puentes, good evening. Rug Pull indeed. XRP Rippers, welcome in. I'm doing great. And thank you for having the 1-year badge, the I Told You So badge. Marcus, welcome in. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for month 1, and we know you are because you have the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. That is my face superimposed there. So I appreciate that. Matt Holden, welcome in with the 6-month badge, the XRP Meteor. I appreciate that. So let me timestamp this very quickly. Actually, let me finish saying hi to everybody. Silverhawk, welcome in. Bobby, Wawa, welcome in. Yes, he says my guru. I'm glad to be your guru. Puentes, welcome. John Hall, good evening. I'm glad to see everybody in here not getting scared away from the market. JW with that 1-year badge as well. I greatly appreciate that. So good evening. 5:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Friday, January 12th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Hopefully, starting tomorrow, you'll see me, well, maybe the next day. You'll see me in my championship gear, but not yet. Won't be here. I think my hat gets here tomorrow, one of them. So, can't wait for that. But as of for now, I'm in Florida. See? Florida. It's snowing here. We've got the most snow we've got all year. We only had a 1/2 inch of snow in Michigan where I live, which is embarrassing. But we're doing great today. I might even show everybody an outdoor view before I leave. But as it is right now, XRP's down and getting walloped. I hope everybody took seriously what we talked about yesterday. We talked about so closely yesterday about Bitcoin. We discovered the pattern it was in a couple days ago. Outside of the bull flag on the breakout, we discovered it was who was here when we discovered the broadening wedge that it actually created itself into instead of this bull flag. See, it was in a bull flag, and I'll show everybody. And this is where it's gonna confuse. So we're in this bull flag, right? We came up to the top of the pattern, and now it's like, what do? So we targeted, remember, when it was up there, this was our target. Bitcoin dropped to ease relative strength index 40,600. And that was for about January 29th. That's when Bitcoin was up at 47,000. We talked about this, and the only reason we got that is we measured it with our uptrending support, and it has 40,700. And we went to, I actually created a second chart just so it wouldn't be as confusing, and I showed everybody. This was the broadening wedge it created into, and we matched it up with the uptrending support. And this actually measured beautifully at that 40,000, about 40,800 area, I believe it was, or 40,600. That's how we got that measured move. And look at that. It's a beautiful measured move too. It's just with the expansion in it, I decided that I wanted to put that out there and tell everybody this was going to happen. So I even put it on there. We put a note on there for the future, but it's almost completed that entire move. It came all the way down to 41,464. Did it come all the way to 40,583? Not yet. It came within 900 points basically. So if that's as close as it comes, well, I still think it's probably got a chance to come all the way down. It wouldn't have come here for no reason. It's going to want to try to show support in this pattern, but I think we nailed this one 100%. 100%. So, and then we even put the up route. If it went up, just so everybody could see the two ways it could go. But it was overextended. We've talked about the weekly time frame with Bitcoin. How ironic it was that it was so overextended. Look at that coming into this week. It's insanity. It's hilarious to me when people make content and say XRP isn't manipulated. Sure. It's hilarious to me too. The most hilarious thing is when people make content FUD related to XRP. Of course it's manipulated. Every single asset you trade is manipulated. It's not just XRP. It's not an XRP thing. It never has been, never will be. Gold's manipulated. The stock market's manipulated. Fiat money's manipulated. You trade the oil markets, they're manipulated. Everything's manipulated. That's how it works. But you got to rise above manipulation. I actually, the funniest thing of all with the XRP community, and I do a damn hard, I do a hard job here because I tell the truth. But the funniest thing to me with the XRP community is the ones that are never happy because they live on that false hope, which is what it is, that XRP is going to be $20,000 one day. We're talking about a token that has a maximum circulating supply of 99.99 billion, and we have a price right now of 56 cents. Whenever I say I'll be happy when it hits the $10, everybody says, "Oh, you son of a bitch, $10." It's like, I mean, on 10,000 tokens, I bought it for 3,400. If it turns into 100 grand, I'm so upset. Now, if it goes higher, which if it gets to $10, it will. It's just from that point is where it really turns into real money. Once you get from 1 to 3 to 5, that 5 to 10, then 10 to 20, that's where it really matters. That 10 to 20, 5 to 10, that's the big money. Unsubscribed again. How many others are they doing this to? Oh, this guy's just, I don't know what he's talking about. But yeah, I don't know. I get douchebags in here all the time, so ignore the douches, as Bob would say. So, right now with XRP, we're still within this rising channel. That is the forefront of this pattern. Is Marketcap legal in the USA to... the ones that I use in the USA, video description below. Those are the ones that I found that I can do. Tony Carter, welcome in. Hashtag mother second choice in the house. Good to see you in here, Mr. Carter. So with XRP, let me get back on track. I'm going to ignore the comments for a minute. XRP. Let's see where I want to get to here. Let this load real quick. We needed to have a big dump off. Relative strength index was in the overbought. Now we're starting to ease a little bit. I need this to load up so you can see the actual chart, which it will in a second. Trading views being very slow. There we go. And for anybody watching, we've talked about the entirety of the week. As it was making the run back up, it was a run to resistance or a pull to support. Unfortunately, like I said, we're making the run to resistance, but what happens after resistance? It's in our best interest to come back down to 534 at minimum. That would clear out the RSI. We could have did this before the up route, but this is fine. The fact we're doing this without making another move up is good. We need to clear this out. 1 hourly, we're starting to clear out. 2 hourly, we've got about an hour left on this candle. 45-minute, we're in the oversold now. 30-minute, nicely in the oversold. 15, we're starting to try to do some kind of reversal here. For me, I would love to see XRP come down to 534. That's just, I said it before it made the ridiculous move up to 62 cents because of the, it shouldn't have made that move up first. But because of the overhype with the ETF and all that, everybody had to realize when we've been talking the last couple of days, there's no way Bitcoin could keep pumping. We've talked about it. That weekly was up at 90, basically, the the relative strength. You don't get that high without a violent correction. And then it overextended itself within this weekly, which was, it's still a lagging indicator, so you didn't even get to see that. But we were seeing it printed in the daily, and it was all catching up in the 4-hourly. And I said once it caught up in the 30-minute, it's over, and it was going to crash real hard. And that's exactly what happened. And now, XRP, we really, really, really want to finish this. See where the 2-hourly is? Maybe we get here and it holds at 534, but now we have to clear out. We have to atone for what we did on the way up. And that's exactly what we're doing. If we finish this out, I would be very happy. I will buy back in on a leverage trade if I'm already in XRP on a spot trade, but if XRP clears this out properly and it gets into my area, the only problem is now that it pushed up there. Now it could actually come down lower, and it's one of those things. Are we going to come all the way down to 37? I don't think we have that kind of strength. But if we go into our other chart, it's a shorter term chart, not the all-time chart. But you can see this rising channel we're in. So could we come all the way back down to the top of the rising, or the bottom of the rising channel? You could. If you break 534, you could come back down to 46.6. It's in this best interest of XRP to come down there. I know everybody's going to be like, you suck. Well, that may be the case. But whether I do or not, XRP needs to come down here. And then it could have a violent rally. But what it did by coming back up, every time it has a chance to do this, it comes back up and it ruins things. See, when it came back up here, that was a perfect chance for us to dump instead of correcting up. Now we're going to have to correct back down to do the same move. Short-term gains for long-term pain. Short-term dump for long-term pump. You make the decision. It's that simple. Short-term gains. If you have a short-term gain, you're having long-term pain. If you have a short-term dump, you're having a long-term pump. I should market that on a t-shirt. But that's exactly what's going on right now. We have 78 people watching, 55 likes. Please make sure to hit that like button. I think we can do better than that. I think we can do better than that. I think the information's worth more than that. I really do. If you don't want to hit that like button or share this on social media, you can always send a YouTube super chat or join Tom's Army, but that is completely up to you. I just prefer you to hit that like button at the very least. And then if you want to pay it forward for having the information in front of you and knowing what's going to happen before it happens, I'd be eternally grateful. With PAXG, it's at 2025. It's up 1472 today. As we talked the last few days, it was one of the few things I could show you as it's tied to gold, to the troy ounce of gold. It was the one few thing I could show you with all the stuff with the Bitcoin ETF stuff. When everything was overextended, this was showing the opposite. And this was the flag that we played out of yesterday. I bought it at $19.95 on the dip, live on air. What, 2-3 days ago? 2 days ago. And then I sold it out at 2028, anticipating a retest. Because we were getting a little overextended here now. With the way it is, it doesn't have to come down like I want, but it just won't be an opportunity because I know it'll go up and then come down. But I'm looking for an opportunity roughly where I put this at around 2007 if it does it properly. And it should be sometime this weekend. That's a massive W. I don't even care if it comes exactly that low. I'm more looking at how the relative strength clears out in the short term. Longer term, I don't care. I just know in these other... I sold out when it was way up there. But now... it's starting to clear out a little bit, but I need it to come down more. I need this to be a rejection here because it looks like it could come back up and have a violent swing up. I don't want that to happen. Right now, it's risky. And it's showing it's tricky. It's consolidating. It needs, if it came down and gave me the opportunity to get back in at a proper spot, Anything under 2010, I'm interested. And then obviously it's tied to gold. So I'm not worried about the volatility like with cryptocurrency for it to go down like it did today. That was the whole point. If you wanted to go long on something, this was in a perfect opportunity. And no matter how the market is, there's opportunities. We just happened to buy it on this right side of the W. So it worked out very well. Very well. So, or not this side, not the W. We bought it down here when it wicked down. No, not even there. Where the hell was this? Am I in the hourly? Yeah. So January 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th. No, I was down here, right here on this wick on Wednesday. Right there when it went to 1994. It did it while we were live on air. There it is, right there. That's the wick we bought it on. And you could have actually got a little bit cheaper. 1990. But that's what I'm looking at here. So that's the structure I'm playing. If you have any input on PAXG, feel free to share it. Other than that, my voice is still very, very shoddy. But I'm trying to get through everything that I wanted to. XRP, as we can see, in the hourly, it's oversold. 2 hourly, it's getting towards oversold. It could still take one more move. I would, if you're looking to go long on like a leverage trade, it's in a too dicey of an area right now. I'd wait to see how it reacts. See if it comes down to 534 and gives us the opportunity. On a spot trade and you're trying to advance your position, everybody knows where I stand. I bought at 346. I'm fully stacked. And unless it comes 20% below that, I'm not buying anymore. And I've stacked approximately 12 different ISO and IoT tokens that are all up almost 1x right now. XRP is my lowest performing asset, as it turns out, out of all of them. So, not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it makes you understand the patterns. I'll be right back. My mom called, and she's only got 5 minutes for her break, and she wanted to talk real quick. So, I'm gonna show you a clip from Peter Schiff, and then I'll be right back. I think you guys can all learn this way too, in Gales. I do this all the time. So, this is what everybody needs to pay attention to. So, I'm sure you can all understand. So, we're going to watch this very quickly.
Well, look, we talk about all these issues, right? Taxes, and spending, and border, and abortion, and all these other things. But the truth is,
how are you?
What most people care about right now, what even normal people care about, is the fact that they're poor today. Everyone is. 17% inflation. That's what we've all experienced since Joe Biden took office. We got inflation numbers today a little bit hotter than usual, 3.4%. All this is basically terrible. Combine this with the fact Washington, D.C. hasn't stopped printing and spending money. In fact, they haven't even slowed down. Well, that makes me almost cringe as I introduce Peter Schiff, because I know he's probably got some horrible things to tell us. Joining me now, Chief Economist and Global Strategist, easy for me to say, at Euro-Pacific Asset Management. Okay, Peter, I can't imagine you're going to be all sunshine and rainbows today, but please take it away.
Well, no, and you're absolutely correct. Americans are getting poorer, and they're going to get a lot poorer as long as the U.S. government continues to grow and spend their money. But the way the government has been choosing to spend money recently is by debt and borrowing. And in order to finance that, the Federal Reserve has printed a lot of money. And that is the source of the inflation. In fact, that is the very definition of inflation. It's an expansion of the supply of money, but not just money, credit. And we got some news last week that consumer credit has exploded to an all-time record as Americans continue to borrow to buy things that they don't earn enough money to afford. And all that means more upward pressure on prices. The Fed has done too little too late to put the inflation genie back in the bottle. And the Biden administration has done nothing. In fact, we've had very stimulative fiscal policy. We're running nearly $1 trillion of debt every quarter under Biden. And that means a lot more inflation, and prices are going much higher.
Okay, Peter, Help me understand what this means. Let's focus on the consumer part, because this has been one of those trends, and I'm an idiot, but I know this is alarming and really, really bad. Consumer credit card debt through the roof, consumer savings bottoming out. Those two things combined are horrific beyond belief. What does it mean for a nation when the people itself drown in debt? Not just the government, the people themselves. What do we do when there's a personal debt crisis?
Yeah, and you know, the people are on the hook for the $34 trillion in government debt. I mean, where does the government get the money to pay the debt? From the people who are already broke and have their own debt. And in fact, Americans are a lot broker than they think if they try to factor in their personal share of that $34 trillion national debt. And of course, that's not all the debt. That's the tip of a debt iceberg. It's about 200 trillion in total when you look at all of the unfunded liabilities that Americans are on the hook for based on what the federal government has obligated them to pay. Now, obviously, because Americans are too broke to pay the debts, they're going to be inflated away. The Federal Reserve is going to be called on to monetize this debt, to print money. And so rather than Americans losing their money, they're going to lose the value of their money. The purchasing power of dollars is going to crash. And that means the price of everything that you buy with dollars is going to go way up.
Peter, can you help me understand something? And maybe this is more of a psychological question instead of a financial one. But the things you and I discuss here when we talk about inflation and debt, and $1 trillion on the debt every 3 months, and all these other things, these are not Republican or Democrat.
Oh, that many people left didn't want to watch Peter Schiff.
This is math. The debt crisis.
That's what I talk about. Information's in front of people, but nobody wants to see it.
But it's coming. Yet nobody in D.C., Republicans, Democrats, nobody acts as if it is coming. Can you explain that to me?
Well, the problem is it's been coming for a long time. And guys like me have been warning about it for a long time. And yet we haven't had a crisis yet. I mean, we've had financial crisis. In fact, we had another one in March of last year. But they were able to, sweep the problems under the rug with another round of bailouts. But because we've been able to do this, kick the can down the road for so many years, people in Washington now who maybe were concerned about these issues 5 or 10 years ago just assume that this can go on indefinitely because it hasn't become a crisis yet. And I think that kind of conceit is going to come back to bite us because we are going to have a massive sovereign debt and currency crisis. It's not a question of will we have one, but a question of when we have one. And the longer we wait for it, the worse it's going to be. Because between now and the crisis, the problems keep getting worse. We have more and more debt, and we have a more dysfunctional economy that is built on that foundation. And so when ultimately it collapses, it's going to be far more painful for far more people because it went on for so long.
Peter, can you explain?
Okay, so, I mean, I'm not surprised that like 25 people left while I was talking to my mom. But, it's an interesting era we live in when the information's out there, but many just don't want to see it. Like, I put a Peter Schiff on and so many people leave. It's mind-boggling. CZAM, Tom, your TA is amazing, my friend, showing some support for your work. Smash that like button, this awesome content creator. Thank you so much for the $10, CZAM. I really appreciate that. Joshua, thank you for the 99 cents. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. Thank you, Joshua. I do appreciate that. The support. Everybody in here, I appreciate it. It's not like everybody left. There's still 54 people that were watching. It's just amazing that we could go from almost 80 people. They see Peter Schiff instead of me, and they're like, nope, he don't know what he's talking about. Like, I'm flattered that so many people respect what I say, but, Peter Schiff, I don't know. The information's there. But anyhow, XRP, I'm looking for a pull down even farther. I know it's got to correct a little bit, and we'll probably get the retap here right around the 58 and a half cent area. But have I ever heard of Bernard McHugh? I don't know. That name doesn't sound familiar. The name Bernard McHugh. I don't know. I went to school at the Paul McHugh, so maybe it's skewing what I'm thinking in my head. Same last name spelling too. 45 minute though, we're getting into a pretty oversold area with XRP. Look at this. It's going to come up a little bit right now in the next two. All right, I'm interested to see where this will be in 2 minutes. So it'll probably be somewhere around, that's been a nice little pull up, 27, maybe. It's at 22.8. Maybe it comes back towards 27. Let's see where we're at in the hourly. It's trying to show like this is the starting of a little bull flag here. W reversal maybe. I don't know. We want it to keep going down. Just transparency purposes. 46 minutes for this candle. We want to have a full out sell-off here. And it's starting to. It's starting to. We just... oh man, I wish it wouldn't have went up there so bad. Look where we were at with the daily on the 9th of January. Had we have went down instead of up, right now, we would be somewhere down and probably the 12, 13. I mean, we would be in such a desirable spot for a pump. In the weekly, it would have ended this week with a big violent pull down. We started the week at 54.47. Even if we would have stayed down here, it's not a bad spot, so we're still in neutral for the weekly, but still, XRP had such an advantage. Now it looks like we're trying to put this head and shoulders pattern in. It is what it is. So, but after I see this candle close, I'm going to probably end this here in a minute because my voice is just, it's having a rough time this week, obviously from the Michigan game. But I did go cover what I wanted to, so I've still been trying to come on here. Yeah, they're relaxing. I was trying to, but it went out on me, so it's contributing right now to my voice cracking, I think. But where's this at? Let's see. Let me get back into the 45 minute. 2 seconds here. Let's see how we look. We're just waiting for this candle to push. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I can look at Bitcoin again. 30 minute. That's the reversal candle right now in the 30. Still waiting for that to come in. So Bitcoin, 42,825. It's down 3,532 on the day. Bitcoin has rotated. It was down and pretty good oversold here, down at about 15 in the RSI and the 45. Hourly was way in the oversold. 2 hourly, 3 hourly is getting down there. That candle closes in 44 minutes. Well, we pulled up from 41,459. The 4 hourly, we had just crossed in before this candle, so it's going to be in the oversold. But now it still remains. The daily time frame, I know all these short time frames, the daily's starting to come down, but it's the weekly that everybody should pay attention to. That weekly is out of control, and I hate to break it to everybody, but all the drop we did today would have absolutely zero effect on bringing that weekly RSI down right now. It started at 42. Oh, wait a minute. Yes, it would now. We broke to a new low during this candle. I forgot. We opened at 42,675, but we went down to 41,444. So, but unfortunately, what it looks like to me is this could turn into a gigantic reversal candle. And if it keeps dumping, I mean, all I'm going to say is everybody better hope Bitcoin holds that 40,000, that retracement we talked about right here. That was the pattern we figured out, because this, if it drops any farther, is going to unify a head and shoulders formation. And we know the targeted move, the first target was here. I put it on here for the future. I said Bitcoin target dropped east relative strength down to 40,600. And that's when we were way up here. When we hit the resistance at 47,000. That's what we put, because we had to. The weekly was out of control. It's out of control. If it keeps dumping past there, past 40,600, there's a very real chance that the head would be in, and the neckline you'd be forming all the way down to about 35,800. Oh, the fact you even asked me that about Solana, you don't know very much about me. To me, Solana's trash. And nobody can change my mind. I've seen it when it had to handle a big workload. I've seen it when, shit hit the fan a few years. I know Solana. Oh, you knew. Okay. I personally, XRP Ripple. I don't even, it's night and day. But it's not just Ripple. That's not the whole thing. It's a consensus. There's just a lot of things within the protocol with XRP or Ripple, however you want to phrase it. XRP, the universal token for it, but Ripple, the backbone, the technology. I don't know. Solana, I just seen too many bad things, and I've seen too many rug pulls. And when I say rug pull, I mean rug pulls of massive magnitudes. But like I said, I don't want to cloud anybody on Solana just because of my personal opinion. It's not that it can't make you money. I just think long term, I don't see it. I've just seen too many issues with its network. I've seen how it handles the multitude of a network, with when it has a lot of frequency in there, and it's not good. We had historic drop in service. What was that? 21 and 22. At 23, it had issues too in the beginning of 23. It was crazy. So I'm surprised nothing came out during this pump. Normally, when Solana pumps, I'm sorry, I was reading that comment, but normally Solana would have it would come out like the network froze, or there's been a hack, or it just went down. It couldn't handle the amount of transactions or whatever. This time though, it's been pretty straightforward. We all know Solana's the pumping coin for the FTX type of people, and the ones who like to, if you want to talk about the ones who, how they try to talk about Ripple with ulterior motives and the shady characters, look no farther than Solana, the people that are pumping that up. It's got a very low circulating supply compared to XRP. That's why it can do what it does. So, if anybody's expecting XRP to make a $100 push, the one big difference between XRP and Solana, and I've said it once, I'll say it again, and I'll say it 1,000,000 times until I'm blue in the face. It's the circulating supply. It's a lot easier to move 432 million tokens than it is to move 54 billion. That's their circulating supply, 432 million. So it's a lot easier, right? For XRP to move $1, it's got to move $54 billion. It is what it is. 54 billion tokens, $1, 54 billion. For Solana, it only needs to move 432.2 million. Its market cap is 40.7 billion, with only a 432 million circulating supply. So that's the big difference. The total is 566.9. I don't know anything about speed, to be honest with you. I got to read what Tony said, though, Mr. Carter. He said almost everyone was like Bitcoin to 100 to 200,000 after ETF, so there would have been newbie putting in money. Now their confidence will be shot. Maybe that's exactly it, Mr. Carter. If we get this proper correction, and that's why I've been calling for the correction with XRP and begging it. Yeah, sure, my portfolio is going to go down a little bit from the top where it was at, but I know what has to happen. For Bitcoin, the first chance it had to continue on, and it spoke the pattern to us. It hinted it at us, even though it was in a bull flag. It showed us when it made that wick up and then came back down. It showed us the exact formation we were in. And I remember being live on air and said, uh-oh. We're coming down like 4,000 or 5,000 all at once. And it did. You just don't know when it's going to happen. It went over 47,000 when it had no business, or over 47,100 or whatever. And it made it all the way up to almost 50. It was like 49,000 and some change. That was to liquidate the shorts. Right before they were going to make bank. So I chose, instead of doing the up and down, I went into PAXG and made what I thought was easy money. So, but I was very transparent with it. I'm not. But anyhow, that's what I got. I'm going to get some food. I'm hungry. I know Julie's hungry. We haven't ate dinner yet, and it's 6:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So everybody tune in. I really, really thank each and every one of you. I hope you have a blessed evening. Thank you all so much. I do appreciate it. I am anticipating the finishing of this move somewhere around 2100 with PAXG. But it's really, I think that it's still my next buy-in because I was hoping for a correction. If it goes up, it goes up. But I already made what I wanted on the first move. Now it was about the correction. In my gut, it tells me it needs to correct more before it has that explosion. And the 2-hourly is trying to squeeze right now. So we'll see. We'll see how this exactly plays out. You never know, though. Gold is not trading commodities for the weekend. So you could have a little bit of an up push here, still an uptick before it wants to do that consolidation. So, but that's what I'm targeting. That's what I'm feeling. Have a good one, everybody. Stay blessed. You're welcome, everybody, and thank you for